And that's really what John Maxwell meant when he said culture eats strategy for breakfast. Yeah. Because you can do all of the great strategic things, but that underlying culture will eat away at that strategy if it's not aligned with your espoused values.
So here's the reality too, is that those underlying beliefs will always overpower those espoused values, right? Like the things you have on the wall, the actually lived out beliefs and values will always trump that. And so you cannot talk your way into culture.
No matter how hard you try.
You can fool yourself into believing that's the culture you have.
Yeah.
But you can only behave your way into one.
Yeah. And that's what you were saying earlier, right? Yeah. The leader's behavior weighs double.
It does. Yeah.
So we have to be really careful about that.
So then, Robert, how do we actually learn culture?
Yeah, let's talk about that. How do the people in your organization actually learn the culture? Because a lot of times when you bring a new person in, they're like a clean slate.
Yeah.
Right. Like you can shape and mold them into whatever really the kind of person that you want them to become or that you want them to be for the organization. But the reality is that if you don't do anything intentionally, they'll just mold themselves right into the culture that already exists. Right. Because it's not through like training memos and mission statements. Like that's not how they're going to feel culture. They're going to actually study the behavior of their leader, and they're going to study it quietly and consistently. They're going to register all of these little things that the leader's saying. They're going to see how other people respond to that leader. They're going to hear the silent groanings if they're there, right? They're going to hear the frustration in the voice of their peers, and they're going to immediately, guess who they're going to side with? Not necessarily the leader. I mean, they may at first because you hired them.
Yeah.
But eventually they'll be like, oh, well, nobody else is getting fired. So maybe it's okay for me to groan and complain and, fall into that kind of culture.
Yeah, absolutely. And so people pay a lot of attention to how you treat the employee who made a mistake. Oh, wow, is there grace there? Is there training there? Is there what's the structures and the things set in place on how the value and the culture of the organization deals that? And that moment teaches them what failure means in your world. So really clearly, this is where language does come in. You have to match both the language and the behavior. Here, one of the things we have culturally here at UYWI is it's okay to take risks and fail.
Yeah.
That's actually encouraged. Now, there's processes and structures on how to do that well. What's not tolerated here is to make the same mistake. If you don't learn from the failure, that was a waste. That's a cultural thing here that we just are like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But you're encouraged to go and fail as long as we learn from it. That's fine. If you fail, that's okay. So people have seen that, and that's given them a lot of opportunity then to give ideas, and another culture thing here is like best idea wins. Doesn't matter who comes up with it. Like we want to take that, right? So
it doesn't mean that if you fail the same way twice or do the same thing over and fail again, that we get mean about it.
No.
It just means that we have a deeper conversation so that it doesn't happen a third time. Like, hey, wait. I thought we talked about this. Why didn't we learn?
Why didn't we learn that?
Why didn't we learn that? Why are we doing this again? And then I think people will begin to realize.
You can hear in the language too, as you say, why did we?